Welcome to an edition of Henry Parker Presents. And I got Brother Mo with me.
My man.
So, today we're going to have a little bit of a controversial subject the red pill. So, Brother Mo, I'll let you introduce the folks to what the red pill is.
Peace, peace. Like Brother Henry said, my name is Brother Mo, and I'm definitely 100% bona fide a red pillar. And what we mean when we say red pill, the red pill, first off, the term was taken as a spinoff from the movie The Matrix. And in the movie The Matrix, the character Neo, he was asked a question because he was in search of. He felt like something was just not right about the world that he lived in. So he was in pursuit of learning the truth about his environment, and there was a character named Morpheus. And Morpheus tells him you can have a choice. You can either take the red pill and see the painful truth about the world, or you can take the blue pill and you'll just wake up and you'll forget your quest for truth and go on living like nothing ever happened. But the choice is yours.
And would you say the majority of the men take what the blue pill or?
Well, I would say a good 90, 95 damn near percent of the men in our society are blue pill by default. The world programs us men to be blue pill by default.
Until something traumatic happens to change their mindset.
Well, I think that the traumatic thing could help wake a man up going through something traumatic. Sometimes you just need someone to give you the proper information and give you the right information that you need. Because going through things, you could witness some things, see some things, experience something traumatic or upsetting or whatever, and but to fully understand it, you got to really break it down on a psychological level. You have to read something, or like I said, have someone put you onto this information, so to speak.
Now, how would you say it's organized now, or like how long has this been? It's always been there, right? But not totally organized.
Well, it's very organized, but it's also at the same time very disorganized. It's something that is together, but it's also something that is divided at the same time, in my opinion. And what I mean by that is, we have something called online called the Red Pill community. It's also known as the Manosphere, and it's basically spaces, that's plural, on the internet, where men get together, compare notes, share information.
Sort of like a brotherhood, right?
Basically.
Okay.
Now, in this whole community, you could call the red pill or the manosphere is the tree. And on this tree, there are many different branches that come out from this tree. One of the earlier branches, one of the first branches that spotted off from this tree, so to speak, you would say will be MRAs. MRAs are known as men's rights activists, so they've been plugging away, you can say, the longest. In my opinion, I feel like they've got a little bit changed as far as legally and stuff like that, but it definitely helped inspire some men. And out of that core group of MRAs, men's rights activists, after a while, there was a handful of men who are involved with MRA who felt like, we're not getting anything done. We're allowing women in our group, we're allowing women to be the spokesperson for men's rights issues, but still laws aren't getting changed in our favor and things just aren't working out. So those few men, they started something known as MGTOW.
Okay.
Is an acronym which stands for MGTOW, which means men going their own way. And if I could, and that's just one, MGTOW
Okay.
and MRAs are the two branches we cover, and there's even more branches than that.
MRAs, they would cover things that say happened, like say child support.
Child support, alimony, no fault divorce, or any legal issues.
Wherever the men get the short end of the stick.
Basically, they were men who were fed up. And if I can explain this, it's like, imagine that you are at a casino setting and you're playing cards at a table, right? And you represent men, or all men basically, and you have two opponents. One opponent is feminist or women, you could say, and then the other opponent is the card dealer, also is like the state, the judges, the system basically. And you're playing cards with them, right? And you realize that, okay, the female side, they say, hey, can you change these circumstances around here to make it easier or more pleasurable for me? Can you turn the AC on? Can you turn the heat on? Can you, can you do this, that, or the third to make this game or this environment better for me? And each request that they have, the card dealer, which is also the state, the judge, whatever you want to call it, they accommodate each and every aspect, each and every request that the women are asking for. And then you, as the man, you turn around and you say, hey, can you change this thing for me and make this environment a little better for me? And what we're told is, no, you're a man. You could handle it. You could take it. You just deal with it. You're a man. You'll be fine. And then you just say, bump it. You just continue to play the game. And then after a while, you catch the woman with cards up her sleeve. You catch the card dealer with cards up their sleeve. You basically catch them cheating you. And when you catch them cheating you, do you sit there like the other feminists are saying, and they're saying, change this game to make it pleasurable for me? Do you take that route? And because you already know each request you ask, you're getting denied. So do you sit there and ask them to play fairly? Or at what point do you realize the game is rigged and you just fold your cards and you walk away from the game? And red pill men, MGTOW men, you can say, are men who realize the game is rigged, and we're not going to beg you to play fair. We're not going to ask you to play fair. We're not even going to discuss how we caught you cheating. We're folding our cards, and we're not playing the game.
And when you say not playing the game, when you say, all right, enough is enough, how do people react?
Well, when we say, well, for starters, to bring clarity to anybody, when I say, we're not playing the game, what we mean is men are not getting married in high numbers, and we're not looking forward to marriage. Men on the college campuses, a lot of men are saying the hell with this because it's being overcrowded, overran by women. Men who work in corporate places or in the workforce, they're opting to, not want to be left alone with a female.
I'll do me. You can take it or let it alone.
Yeah, a lot of men are just at the place where they're just going to do bare minimum to, pay for their living expenses and their lifestyle, and we're not going to go above and beyond. There are a lot of men who are refusing marriage. There are a lot of men who are refusing to procreate, have babies, because we realize that, having children, getting married, it makes slaves out of men, and men are tired of it. So they're walking away. They're opting out, basically,
Now, because I find it interesting, all of a sudden, this movement has started, whereas before society always said, get married, have kids, the white picket fence, the whole nine, right? And you were considered like sort of weird if you didn't go that route,
Yeah, and on societal level, they try to look at you as you're weird if you choose that. And there are women who, we call it shaming language.
Yeah.
Women would use shaming language, and I get shaming language from women all the time. As soon as they find out that I say I'll never get married or I'm never going to have children, I get in comes the shaming language. What do you want to grow and die out alone? You're going to be, because their mindset is we realize this, the state as well as women are using men for two main reasons. They're using and manipulating us for resources and utilities. And they feel like if you're a man and we can get resource and utility out of you, you need to use this on a woman. I remember years back, George Clooney was saying he'll never get married and never settle down. And it pissed a lot of women off. It's not that they care about your love life and want to see you happy. They believe that he was a man that had resources, and their mindset is, how dare you as a man with resources not spend it on a woman, not spend it on children,
Because generally I say, look, anybody can get married, but not everybody can stay married, which is another thing. Right?
Well, that's something I had to do the homework on because I wanted to know. I had to study. And, in my division, my group that I have is called the Melanated Red Pill, along with my brother Adika. And, so it's more focused on red pill issues, but particularly for black men. And, it's just we're realizing the truth of the matter. And when we start to study, and I had to study, and my two sources, or three main sources that I use, was the U.S. Census Bureau reports, the CDC reports, and this fantastic website called blackdemographics.com, which breaks down both the CDC and census reports in a very clear way and direct on certain issues that pertains to people of color.
Now, the interesting part is when you come up with these facts and figures, particularly to women, getting discussions with women, they must like go off.
Oh, well, one thing that we had to learn the hard way, and this is every red pill man understands this, because this is like basic understanding of red pill and female nature, is that women do not like to take accountability for anything, and they hate stats, facts that reflects them in the negative way. Because we live in a society, and you guys can check this study out. It's called the Women Are Wonderful Effect. It was a study done by a couple men and women. I forget their names off the top of my head, but they were college students, and they have found in their study in the Women Are Wonderful Effect, they found as a culture, as a whole in the society, uh, we are quick and we find it with ease. We can label negative behaviors and characteristic and personality traits on men, but we don't like labeling these negative characteristics on women. You know, for example, if someone were to say, we heard the married couple down the street had a domestic problem and one of the partners were killed and there was a murder. When most people hear that, instinctually they automatically think the husband killed the wife. But nobody said the husband killed the wife.
Right.
You know, it could have been the other way around.
Right.
But the point is, everyone in a society chooses to label negative characteristics and traits towards men, and we refrain from doing it to women. They've even done studies where they had male, female actors in public parks and places, and they had two actors, a man and a woman, acting as a couple, and they were on one side of the coin. They showed the man being aggressive to the woman, hitting, smacking the woman, yelling, being verbally abusive to the woman. And when they did this, they found that everybody in the community wants to come and break it up and be peacemaker, and they're displeased with that. But when they flipped the roles and they had the woman being aggressive, striking him, hitting him, verbally abusive towards him, nobody interferes. Most people actually laugh. They'll pull out their cell phones and record. It's
Why
fun.
is he taking all this?
Exactly. That, or most people say, oh, it's his fault. He probably deserved it. He probably used to do it to her first. He probably cheated. You know, so they choose to not get involved. They laugh. They'll record it with their cell phones. You know, when it's a man being abused by a woman.
When I went on your page, if I'm correct, someone said it quoted that said marriage was the greatest retirement package for women.
Oh yeah. I mean, because a lot of women do, like, you know, we have to face the facts. First, it gets to understanding their nature, and this is one of the biggest things that bother me about our society, is that male biological sexual nature becomes demonized, while female sexual nature becomes hidden. And male biological sexual nature is indeed to be polygamous. If you're a man and you have feelings for more than one woman, doesn't make you a bad man, doesn't make you a horn dog. It makes you just a man. But our nature in this society as men becomes demonized. Or on the flip side of the coin, female sexual biological nature is to be hypergamous, or that's part of it, is hypergamous, or hypergamy, if you may. Hypergamy is basically the art of dating into a higher caste. If a girl who works in a workplace, she just started working in this office, if she's gonna date somebody or mess around with somebody at her job, she's never gonna go for like the janitor or the male guy, some low-level employee. She's always gonna go for someone at least on her level, but preferably higher. So that's what the art of female nature is, hypergamy. So yeah, it does indeed. There are a lot of women who do indeed marry for money, and the way the system is set up, a woman. I just read, like, I forget what actor it was. He married a woman for less than 4 days, and they married in Vegas. Was married for 4 days, and then she filed for divorce, and she wants spousal support. So, you know, the alimony laws, and there are a lot of women who are marrying just for security.
Right.
I've gone on record saying this a bunch of times, that there's a difference between a man a woman wants to marry and a man a woman wants to blow her back out sexually. These are two different men,
Right.
and they're not often found in the same men. You know, so there are a lot of women who we have a saying in the red pill community that goes, "The alpha fucks while the beta bucks." Excuse my language. Hope I can curse here and now and there, but I'll try to keep it as clean as possible. But that's what it is. The alpha fucks while the beta bucks. That's what it is. So yeah, a woman will marry a man for financial security because she sees that he has financial security, and she'll divorce him for that same reason as well, to easily make his assets her assets with the help of the state. You know, so it's a problem.
Now, how is it that the state hasn't come in and said, wait a minute, we got an imbalance here.
Well, I believe the state created the imbalance because the state wants to see us divided. They don't want a combination of happy families, communities who are well educated, informed, and moving accordingly. They don't want to promote that, especially amongst people of color. They don't want to support that. I mean, the idea of marriage has nothing to do with love to begin with. It's more about business. That's for starters. But there's a lot of people out here who we call blue pill type people who actually believe, especially men, who believe that marriage is about love. When the truth is, and I believe all women know this, it's like a secret hidden. They're on the same page when it comes to this. Marriage has nothing to do with love and everything to do about a woman's security and ensuring a woman's security. I go as far as say any woman who presses a man to marry him, she's not concerned with that man's long-term well-being.
Just the immediate future.
Basically, she's only concerned about what she wants, what she gets out the deal.
Now.
Basically.
Right.
Basically, and it's funny you say that now because that actually applies on so many different levels with women. The now theory, we call it. And we tell guys if you're dating a girl in a relationship with a girl, she tells you, "Oh, I think you're this great guy. I love you so much." You have to throw in now at the end because she's a very fickle creature and this could change at any given moment. So if she loves you, yeah, she loves you now. She thinks you're great, yeah, she thinks you're great now.
And do you find most guys, when they wake up to the fact it's too late?
Yeah, most guys wake up to the fact when it's too late. Some guys don't get it till after their second divorce. Some cases, some guys got to be taken to the cleaners and manipulated bad, get their heart broke, and it's a part of female nature to do that. She will. The harsh truth about woman is, woman will destroy countless beta males in search for what she feels is an alpha male. But the truth of that matter and that whole process is, sure, she's going to destroy a lot of men in the process, but she doesn't realize how she's actually hurting herself,
Now, after these guys have been destroyed by women, is that when you find they take the red pill, or
Every man's different. There are a select few men out here who understand female nature and they expect them to be them and they're ahead of the curve. Very few men out there are like that. Then you have some men who have to get burnt repeatedly before they get it. You have some men that's going to get burned repeatedly and they'll never get it. You have some men who they need someone to teach them and guide them to make sense of what happened. So every guy's different. Some men will never learn.
So it's going to be taken on an individual basis, or
Basically, every man's journey is different, and hence ties into MGTOW. See, the thing is called men going their own way. It's not men going our way. It's not men going the men's way.
Everybody's got their own individual journey.
Exactly. And something that I found very profound that Richard Cooper from Entrepreneurs in Cars, he's a great guy. I think you should look him up out there, Richard Cooper, and his YouTube channel, Entrepreneurs in Cars. He said something that I thought was very profound. He said that the red pill doesn't exist so that men will hate women. The red pill exists so that men won't hate women for women not having the ability to love us and support us the way we need to be loved and supported. And I think that's very profound because some people from the outside looking in, they'll look at red pill men or MGTOW men and they'll just assume that it's all about hating women. They'll assume that we're just all angry towards women when actually, truth be told, women actually has very little to do with it. It has more to do with the state, the psychology, the conditions of things that we're dealing with. And you could say in many ways, women can be a lot like pawns on a chessboard. They're just very reactionary to their society because they don't lead. Men are leaders. I say that in a society, men are only going to have collectively what they're willing to take, and women are only going to have collectively what men allow them to have. And if I can elaborate right quick,
be my guest.
When I say men, we're only going to have what we're willing to take, and this goes across the board. If our women are acting out of line, it's only going to go down. It's only going to last as long as collectively men allow it to happen. If we have a government who treats us like crap, and does not and putting us in these very uncomfortable, unhealthy, and unhappy situations, we're only going to deal with it collectively as long as us men are willing to take it. And seeing how us men are leaders, women are only reacting towards what we give them. So women only have what men allow them to have. Anything that women have or she gets away with, she does. It's what we allow collectively as men to take place. Because face it, men are the ones who make everything work. Men are the ones who made the law, made the religion, all the above. So they only have what we allow them to have collectively.
Just out of curiosity, where do you see this movement in the next, keep it short, 3 years?
3 years, huh? That's interesting.
3 to 5. I mean,
3 to 5 will be interesting because we have a belief of the Red Pill community that if we put the facts out there, that a lot of these places or businesses are closing down, like the kids' toy stores, the children's stores, like a lot of these maternity clothes stores closing down. A lot of the shopping is coming to an end, and the world is slowly changing because men are walking away from the game. We are tired of being taken advantage of. We are tired of the alimony. We're tired of the child support. We're tired of the women who behave like children, because mentally, in many ways, they are children, and they really think that what they're doing is changing the world for the better, but they don't realize how they're making it worse. And men are growing more and more tired each day. So we're going to change the economy, and it's going to be a hard, long process. But the madness is going to have to come to an end sooner or later. But where do I see it coming in another 3 years? At this rate, the way that things like MGTOW, red pill, so on and so forth goes for, it's going to change the whole dating aspect. It's going to change how women approach men. It's already changing. As a matter of fact, what's the sister's name? Monique, and I got to do my fact check on it. She said something about how us black women need to let our men have side chicks. I thought it was funny because you said the word "let," because the truth about men, we're going to do what we're going to do regardless. And the thing is, men only had to lie about it because society forced this idea of monogamy upon us when none of us are monogamous creatures. So women already know by instinct us men aren't monogamous creatures. And the men who bite into the monogamy pie, these are the men who are perfect to be slaves. But women still aren't even happy with those men. We can prove this, like I was talking about earlier, through the divorce rates, especially in the black community. Close to, in America, did you know that like close to 80% of divorces are implemented by women?
Wow, that's crazy. Why,
And with
like I said, why bother?
Exactly. Now, what's interesting, that's not even interesting to me, the fact that 80% of divorces are filed by women. And if I could take it a step back, just to put it more, 60% of couples in America will file a divorce. Out of the 60% of couples that file a divorce, 80% of those divorces were implemented by the woman. And when she files for divorce, she has to choose a reason what she's filing for divorce for. And the three main reasons are irreconcilable differences, adultery, or unsatisfactory. And the average reason given is unsatisfactory. It's not even adultery or irreconcilable differences, oddly enough.
I'm done. On to the next guy.
I'm done. Next guy, give me half your money, give me the house, or you get out the house, give me the car, give me child support, alimony, get out, And men are waking up to that, and they're realizing, they're starting to slowly see it. Yeah, they're realizing it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all, We've been terribly lied to about who and what women are. But if I can jump way back,
Okay.
you remember earlier I was talking about that tree
Yep.
it's called the Manosphere, or the Red Pill Community Tree. I spoke about two branches that comes off of that tree already, and I touched on MRAs, and I touched on MGTOWs. You also have, and the thing about MGTOW is, it's international. You have Asian MGTOWs, you have African MGTOWs, you have European MGTOWs, you have MGTOWs in Spain, Russia, France,
Like a
Canada.
conference, because that's wild.
Yeah, I mean, you can look it up online. Yeah. We are everywhere. And each day, I think anywhere between 25 to maybe 75, maybe 100 men are studying red pill, MGTOW type content each day, and they're subscribing to it because it just resonates with every man, because the truth is right there. You've experienced it. You've seen it firsthand. So, but as far as black men go, see, MGTOW, while it's for everybody, we still see racism.
Oh, of
It's
course.
still an issue.
Oh, racism is everywhere.
Everywhere, even in the manosphere. So us brothers who are thinking brothers, because you got to be a thinking brother to even register this content and information. So for us thinking brothers, we already know what racism is, and we get into this whole MGTOW, red pill brotherhood. And sure, it's cool when we're talking about, you know, the nonsense that women play, but then we realize racism is an element that's still here. Hence why you have things like black MGTOW, and then you have one of my personal favorites is IBMOR.
What is IBMOR?
IBMOR, which stands for Introspective Black Men of Reform. And I really dig their stance in many ways. So, you know, IBMOR is another one of them. So there's several different branches on this tree. You know, so they're not all the same. We get together, we discuss issues here and there in the manosphere, but we have certain issues where we disagree with. Right. You know, so it's not like we're all getting along in one big happy family. We disagree about a lot, actually, but one thing we have in common is we are sick of feminists. We are sick of these laws that put men at a disadvantage and enable women to behave terribly. That's one of the things. We're sick of feminism, you know. We're sick of what we also call, see, when you really digest this red pill, you realize to a degree, there actually is no such thing as feminism. Feminism is all smoke and mirrors. Feminism is just a manifestation of gynocentrism, and we live in a very gynocentric society. When I say gynocentric society, what I mean by that is we live in a society where men are forced to deal with huge and high levels of accountability and responsibility, but yet through the systems of legalities, we are left powerless, damn near powerless. Where on the flip side of the coin, women have to deal with little to no accountability or responsibility, but yet through the system of legalities, they gain tremendous powers.
Now, which is harder to overcome, the legal system or dealing with the feminist? Or do they sort of go hand in hand?
They can, in many ways, they go hand in hand because we live in a gynocentric society, you know. But the truth about even dealing with a lot of the legal system, as far as marriage, children, child support, alimony, if we equip men with the right knowledge and they're on that path, they wouldn't be in a situation where they're in child support or family court or divorce court, you know. So like a man like me, I don't want children. I don't want to get married. So I don't have to worry about a woman taking me for half of my money or taking me for alimony or child support because I'm not going to put myself in that situation.
Right.
So the men typically who find themselves in a situation are men who just don't understand. If I could share another quote with you that we have in the Red Pill community, we say, us men, we have two choices when it comes to women. We can either love women or we can understand women. But unfortunately, we can't do both at the same time. Typically the men who say they love women so much, they know they're clueless to her duplicitous sexual nature. The men who say they
for the pickings.
Yeah, exactly. The men who say they love women so much, they've never heard of terms of like hypergamy or hybristrophilia or gynocentrism. They don't know about, like, if I was to tell these men that there's a difference between what a woman says she finds attractive and what she finds arousing, they don't understand that. They don't understand that there's a difference between a man a woman wants to marry and a man a woman wants to blow her back out. They don't understand her, like I said earlier, her sexual duplicitous nature. But the men who do understand her nature, it's not that we hate these women now, because just because I say because we understand you, that means we can't love you. Right. It just means that we're going to look at life differently. It doesn't mean we necessarily have to hate you. It's just that we understand your nature. I understand that a bird can fly, and I can't fly. And it's in a bird's nature to fly. Now, just because I can't fly doesn't mean I have to turn around and hate the bird. Right. I just understand its nature to fly. Just as it's in a fish's nature to swim. And I can't live underwater and swim underwater my whole life, but a fish can. I understand that that's what its nature, that's what it was designed to do. Us red pill men, we're not here to change or fix female nature, because you can't change what they are. You understand it, and then you learn how to lead yourself through it and with it.
Well, folks, it's about that time, and we'll definitely have you back so we can go in